there's so many soldiers that we've stood with over time that have passed away that, understood hard money. And I just feel that it's unfortunate that they didn't get to see it, for their own eyes, that they were right all along.
When did you start realizing that this whole thing was coming down?
Um, well, my very first class, the very first book I opened in college in 1978, it was a Keynesian book. At the bottom of the first page, top of the second page, it said, "We don't know why the Great Depression happened, but we do know it can never happen again." And that is what set me off digging. And I early on figured out that it was too much credit. It was too much credit for the, during the Great Depression. And then you saw the debt build up or begin to build during Reagan's years. And you had, what was it, Pete Peterson, the Peterson Foundation was saying basically because of the hockey stick that 1995 or thereabouts was the point of no return. And I basically went all in on gold in 97 when gold dropped to 335, and that was the cost of production. And I knew, I'm a value investor, I knew that if you could buy something at or below the cost of production, sooner or later, you're going to get paid. It may not be immediate. You may have to wait some time. But if you could buy something below the cost of production or like a real piece of real estate, the cost to rebuild something, sooner or later, you're going to get paid.
You recognize real estate, and that's what led you to Texas, because the real estate market had crashed, and
Right.
you saw the opportunity there. Where do you see in the United States real estate going from residential and commercial?
Um, in dollar terms, you may not see, it depends on the timing of the devaluation of the dollar. So you may not see real estate uh, really collapse in dollar terms, but in terms of gold ounces, in terms of silver ounces, in terms of a fixed monetary unit, the prices are going to absolutely outright collapse. I mean, just drive through any city. You'll see construction all over the place, and everything that's built and everything that's being built is being done on credit. The whole thing is done on credit. And when credit collapses, who's going to be able to step up and buy whatever you have that you're looking to sell? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's amazing. You look at, even the price of cars, how it's absolutely skyrocketed, but yet the quality of them, they're shit in compared to what they used to build. Price of cars should have come down. They shouldn't be costing what they are today.
Well, yes and no. I mean, think about it. Um, I grew up in the 60s and 70s. I mean, yeah, there were some pretty cool cars back then. I mean, the muscle cars, which the end of that was 1972, but there was zero technology. And I mean, the technology today is, so far beyond. So you've got to look at, not just first off, you got to look at dollars. The dollar itself has been vastly devalued. Then you look at the technology that's in a car today. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of technology. I mean, when I was growing up, when I was in high school or college, I couldn't imagine a front or a back camera. I couldn't imagine a GPS system. Uh, I mean, only the fanciest cars in the late 60s, early 70s even had power windows. So the cars, the cars themselves, they're better. Um, I'm not saying they're better in a crash. I'm not saying that they'll last longer, but they're better from a creature comfort standpoint. And then again, as I just mentioned, the value of the dollar has crashed. So it is possible that if when you add the two together, you add the dollar devaluation plus the amount of technology that's added into cars now, you may be getting a better deal. It's hard to say. I mean, I'd have to, I'd have to see some numbers crunched in order to come up with, definitive.
I know I'm running out of time here with you, but I do want to ask you, your thoughts on AI and where it's at today, and what are your thoughts on it?
I'm obviously not a tech genius, but the scary thing is, just a couple days ago, we heard that there was an AI system that refused to shut down and then began rewriting its own code. And you've got some pretty smart people. You have some people that have been, in the tech industry their entire lives that are saying, AI is probably going to wipe out the human race. So I just I believe that it is a very big potential problem. It's scary. Everything is moving. If you think about it, Mike, pretty much anything and everything you look at, you do, your world, your life, everything is speeding up. Everything, whether it be technology, whether it be finance, whether it be just everything in your life is much faster now than it was 20 years ago, 40 years ago. I mean, go back 100 years and, what was the new invention? The radio. I mean, there's, technology, the advances are coming faster and faster and faster.
And isn't it amazing how it's evolving so quickly, but yet everything you do is a hassle today?
Well, that could be, everything we do being a hassle could be the fact that we're getting older. I don't know. You just have to deal with it.
Flying's a pain. Renewing your drive, everything's a process, and you can't deal with any. It's less and less likely you can deal with a real person when you make a phone call for from a customer service standpoint, or somebody that doesn't even live in this country.
True. But then again, on the flip side of that, I'll tell you a brief story about Costa Rica. Renewing your driver's license there is hilarious. And this was, 12, 15 years ago. I walked into the motor vehicles place, and they had about 100 chairs lined up 25 in 4 rows. And you go in and you take a number, and they got this electronic thing up that shows the number. Well, all the people are sitting next to each other on these rows, and the back row was empty. And I went in, I pulled my ticket, and I just sat down in the back. Well, everybody turned around and looked at me, and then the next person came in and they sat down in line, and the guy said, "No, you have to move back one because that seat was mine." So every time the number would change, people would start yelling at me, tell me I'm not sitting in the right place because I got to sit there, and they would all get up. When the number came up and the first guy in line went up, everybody would get up and move one seat over. Which, I mean, that's old school. I mean, that's like 1940s, 1950s thought process. So, you can balance stupidity off with, where we are now.
Where do you think we are a year from now, Bill? Last question. Where do you think things sit?
A year from now, I think we will be into the great taking.
It's not that far away.
No, it's not. Which means there's going to be a lot of events. If I'm right, there's going to be an incredible amount of events that we get flooded with, and all kinds of pitfalls, potholes, obstacles that you're going to have to avoid, to still be standing, to still be surviving, and still have your wealth.
What is your biggest concern of all this? We talked about Russia. We've talked about devaluing the dollar, First Amendment. What's at the top of your list?
I got to say war. War will be the worst.
Which usually is what follows when you're talking about a collapse of the financial system, right?
Right, exactly.
So
And
what
it wouldn't surprise me if they happen hand in hand.
do you think Russia, Ukraine, that escalates, Middle East, or all of it?
That's hard to say, but I'll answer your question with a question. What do you think would happen to the lifestyle slash finances of the United States if a carrier got taken out? What happens then?
I think the country would rally to go to war.
Yeah, but now you're talking about an all-out war, and something that was previously thought to be 100% invincible is not 100% invincible.
It's yeah, and people, they say I look at it all this. It is what it is, right? To where we're at, and what else can we do, right? We work within our local community and financially prepare ourselves the best way we can.
You just said it. Do the best you can. That's all you can do.